How did this early Gondwanan dinosaur thrive across the vast ancient floodplains of South Africa and Zimbabwe? Why did modern paleontologists completely abandon the old quadrupedal theory after carefully analyzing its powerful bipedal stance? What specific defensive purpose did that incredibly sharp thumb claw serve when facing deadly ancient Megapnosaurus predators? Could those specialized forelimbs truly strip tough vegetation with the highly advanced precision modern primates display today? What specific feeding advantage did those unusually elongated neck vertebrae provide across the vast early Jurassic landscape? Why did this remarkable genus persist for exactly 17 million years before completely disappearing from prehistoric Earth? How did shifting ecological pressures within the Elliott Formation ultimately dictate its rapid prehistoric evolutionary survival path? Don't miss what comes next in this story. Watch to the very end.
Hello everyone, I am Jonny Dony, and this channel shares dinosaur documentaries rooted in real paleontological science. Today, we explore the Massospondylus in shadows of the early biped, tracking their journey across ancient southern floodplains. Monetization here has grown unpredictable lately, so this channel relies on direct viewer support to keep going. Please consider becoming a sponsor on Patreon, since every contribution helps produce the next film. Link below. Kindly like and subscribe to support our ongoing research. Now, let us step into the ancient past.
Shadows of the early biped. Extinction is forever, but life finds new paths. David Attenborough. Jurassic Floodplain. 200 million years ago, the Upper Elliott and Clarence formations define a vast subtropical floodplain across southern Africa. Shifting geology creates seasonal basins. Warm rains alternate with severe arid cycles, shaping a highly dynamic ecosystem for early Gondwanan life. Common in South Africa, Lesotho, and Zimbabwe, this key Gondwanan dinosaur thrived within these early Jurassic deposits. Ferns and primitive conifers dominate the ground cover. They provide dense shade across the basin during the wet months of the long growing year. A pure theropod silhouette passes quietly along the distant horizon. It completely ignores the dense vegetation. Meanwhile, a small synapsid scurries rapidly through the dry undergrowth, navigating the complex root systems of ancient cycads to find some quick shelter inside them. Mean temperatures remain consistently warm beneath these marked seasonal shifts. Frost is exceptionally rare. Heavy tropical downpours keep the lowland drainage channels brimming, and the wide flood margins saturated through much of the long-growing year. Above the high canopy, a contemporary pterosaur casts a brief shadow. It glides on warm thermal updrafts. Down below, a contemporary archosaur quadruped drifts slowly at the muddy bank, basking quietly in the humid air near the very shallow riverbanks today. Carbon dioxide levels run high, holding the entire southern basin in gentle warmth. The great floodplain never wholly dries. It spreads, drains, and brims again with every passing season, driven by the relentless geological forces of the early Jurassic period of time. Recent mapping confirms seasonal flood cycles sustained early dinosaur ecosystems across southern Africa. We invite you to discuss how these wet seasons shaped herd movement below. Subscribe so we can continue documenting ancient environments. The next chapter reveals how modern studies confirmed their surprising bipedal locomotion.
Bipedal species. The adult reaches 6 meters long, yet its slender body plan relies entirely on a bipedal stance. Once thought quadrupedal, modern studies confirm it was bipedal, with short but powerful forelimbs bearing a sharp thumb spike for protection and gathering. The animal weighs roughly 350 kilograms. It balances this considerable mass over sturdy hind limbs. The elongated neck and tail act as vital counterweights, allowing the species to maintain equilibrium while traversing open ground with remarkable stability. A much smaller peer sauropodomorph stands quietly near the distant tree line. This highlights the sheer scale of our subject. The larger animal simply steps past, its long tail sweeping the dust as it continues a steady march across the sun-baked terrain. A bulky contemporary archosaur rests in the shade of a cycad. This heavy quadruped contrasts sharply with the agile biped. The Massospondylus ignores the reptile, focusing its small skull on the high canopy where fresh greenery remains just out of reach. Moving in a loose assembly, these animals cover vast distances. They do so with surprising speed. Their strictly bipedal posture prioritizes rapid maneuverability over heavy load-bearing, allowing the entire group to navigate uneven ground swiftly while maintaining a highly coordinated pace. This highly efficient locomotor strategy defines the genus. It turns a potentially cumbersome frame into a remarkably graceful strider. With every balanced step, the 6-meter biped demonstrates exactly why this specialized body plan dominated the early Gondwanan plains for countless seasons. Could a 350-kilogram frame truly rely on 2 legs? We documented how precise counterbalancing transforms that heavy mass into swift movement. Drop your observations below and subscribe to support our research. The next chapter reveals how that sharp thumb defeats aggressive predators.
Predator combat. 2 rival males clash across the dry Clarence Formation scrub. Each defender weighing 350 kilograms plants its heavy hind feet firmly, driving a full 6-meter frame forward until the smaller challenger yields the dried watercourse. The victor stands firm. A 2-meter Megapnosaurus lunges from the cycads in a sudden, vicious ambush. The herbivore pivots, using its enlarged, sharp thumb claw to drive back the attacker. The theropod quickly retreats. Near a shrinking pool, a Hatangian Sphenosuchus suddenly snaps at a trailing juvenile. The adult swings its heavy tail in a wide arc, the strike breaking the crocodilomorph's rhythm and sending it sprawling into the mud. The small reptile quickly retreats. A larger Dracovenator initiates a high-speed pursuit across the open Sinemurian plains. The sauropodomorph uses its slender, highly agile body to execute a rapid directional change, dodging the snapping jaws and leaving the heavier predator to stumble past in defeat. The beaten rival returns to compete once more, testing the victor's stamina. They lock necks in a pushing match, testing the limits of their 4 to 6 meter frames, until the original defender shoves the challenger backward into the thick ferns. Finally, a terrestrial Protosuchus lunges from the dry Elliott Formation banks. The defender rears up and brings its heavy forelimbs down, the blunt force driving the ambush predator back into the dust. The survivor stands unbroken, watching the threat withdraw. While earlier chapters mapped peaceful floodplains and steady movement, this sequence details intense survival conflicts. We now document how predatory pressure forged precise defensive tactics. Like and subscribe to track our ongoing research. The next chapter examines specialized neck vertebrae that maximized foraging efficiency.
Clawed anatomy. The name Massospondylus means greater vertebrae, reflecting its uniquely elongated neck bones that enabled a wide feeding range in early Jurassic floodplains. This extended spine allows the animal to crop low ferns. It harvests vegetation without shifting its heavy frame across open ground. Specialized articulation points between these cervical segments permit flexible lateral sweeping motions. Below the grazing giant, a small synapsid scurrying past emphasizes the sheer body mass scale of the dinosaur. The long neck sweeps side to side, efficiently stripping leaves from tough conifer branches. This specialized skeletal architecture reduces overall cranial mass requirements while maintaining optimal biomechanical leverage for sustained browsing. The small head houses rounded anterior teeth for biting. Flat posterior teeth then process the tough plant matter gathered by the extended neck. The forelimbs complement this feeding strategy, remaining half the length of the hind limbs but retaining powerful five-fingered hands. An enlarged manual claw manipulates branches to secure tough plant matter. This structural specialization optimizes daily energy expenditure during extended foraging periods. While the sauropodomorph browses, a peer theropod tracking distant prey demonstrates contrasting limb mechanics on the horizon. Inside the herbivore, swallowed gastroliths grind complex plant matter within the gut. The anatomical adaptations seamlessly link neck flexibility with digestive efficiency across the seasonal landscape. The long tail provides essential balance during this bipedal movement, anchoring the slender body against the pull of gravity. Reaching upward, the animal strips a final cluster of horsetail fronds. The greater vertebrae fulfill their ancient purpose, sustaining the giant in the living floodplain. The specialized anatomy we just examined faces a terminal collapse. We analyzed their feeding efficiency, but our investigation now shifts to the drought that erased their habitat. Comment on their survival limits below, then like and subscribe. The next chapter reveals scattered fossils documenting their final extinction.
Extinction Event. Dry winds strip the Clarence Formation, exposing cracked mud where a 6-meter herbivore searches for withered horsetails. This basal sauropodomorph faces a terminal decline as seasonal rains fail completely. Its fragile hatchlings perish in the dust, unable to reach maturity. Across the upper Elliott floodplain, a contemporary Megapnosaurus scavenges near a fallen giant. The dying Massospondylus weighs 350 kilograms, yet starvation defeats its massive frame. Smaller Lisothosaurus herds scatter slowly across the vast barren plain, fleeing the collapsing ecosystem. Gastroliths lie scattered beside the lifeless jaw, useless for grinding tough ancient cycads. This marks the beginning of a localized extinction, as the genus persisted only 17 million years within its stage, reflecting the narrow temporal range typical of single dinosaur genera. By the Pliensbachian age, roughly 184 million years ago, the broader sauropodomorph turnover accelerates. A dominant Protosuchus claims the last shrinking waterhole, driving away the remaining bipedal foragers. The fragmented landscape offers no refuge for the truly failing lineage. Isolated carcasses document the final population collapse across the Karoo Basin. The last adults succumb to nutritional stress, their elongated cervical vertebrae sinking into the dry, cracked sediment. No new tracks cross the barren mud, ending countless millions of years of adaptation. Today, their embryonic specimens and complete growth sequences remain preserved in the ancient stone. These fossils reconstruct early dinosaur development, securing their legacy as a cornerstone for understanding basal sauropodomorph ontogeny. The giants vanish, but their biological history endures in the rock. Our journey from ancient floodplains to final extinction concludes in this chapter. We encourage you to consider how preserved fossils reconstruct their complete biological history. Like and subscribe to support our ongoing scientific documentaries. Browse our channel to explore additional prehistoric ecosystems.
Shadows of the early biped reveals how Massospondylus navigated shifting Jurassic floodplains with remarkable resilience. I am Jonny Dony, and tracing their slender footsteps remains a profound reminder of ancient survival. I truly appreciate your time spent exploring this remarkable chapter of prehistoric life together. Please subscribe and comment to support the channel as we uncover more ancient histories. My Patreon members receive every new dinosaur documentary a week before the public release. Link below. Deep gratitude goes to our dedicated sponsors whose steady backing funds rigorous paleontological research. In just a few seconds, 2 videos with equally interesting documentaries about dinosaurs will appear on the screen. So, go on to watch the next fascinating story.